In the meantime here, we do want to bring into the conversation our friend, legal analyst and expert here, Tre Lovell. He joins me. Tre, good to see you here. You've been following the Weinstein case for a long time as well. How are they going to do this? Harvey Weinstein just had open heart emergency surgery on Sunday. How can he be in court on the 18th of September?
You know, his health is a big concern. And the judges even said that. He said to have Harvey Weinstein die for some reason by being passed around from courthouse to courthouse would be an injustice. So his health is going to be a big concern. You know, we're going to see what these additional indictments are and additional charges are. You know, the prosecution wants to combine the two cases. The defendants obviously don't. And they certainly couldn't be able to combine them and try it by November 12th, which is when the retrial is set. So, you know, there's a lot of moving parts here, but his health is a major concern.
You know, Tre, do you think prosecutors will learn their lesson from the last time I was on the air when Weinstein's conviction was overturned there by the highest court in New York State? And I'm just reading from the copy in the Associated Press that the indictment charges Weinstein with additional crimes and that multiple accusers are prepared to testify against him. Now, this was the nail in the coffin for the conviction last time. Accusers testified against Weinstein that were not part of the original formal charges against him here. Have prosecutors learned that lesson, do you think? Will they not repeat that same mistake?
Well, that's what's happening here. They're trying to get around it. Oh, so in the previous trial, there were the three women who were part of the indictment, two of whom got the convictions for. And when three other women who were not part of it were allowed to testify, the court said, hey, that's propensity evidence, that's unfair, you know, and you need to retry it because that should have never been introduced. So what the prosecution is doing now is they're saying, hey, we're going to add additional accusers, but now they can become part of the indictment. So they're essentially going to be able to have other people testify who are victims and part of the indictment, and thus they will be allowed to testify. So I think they've learned a lesson. They're trying to get around it. They probably won't make the same mistake as they did before. But it's still a he said, she said. I mean, the majority of the evidence in the other trial was really based on the women's testimony. There's not a whole lot of other evidence that may be different in this new indictment.
Okay.
You know, so there's a good chance Harvey Weinstein will actually testify.
Oh, wow. I mean, Tre, when these things happen and a conviction is overturned, I mean, what is the likelihood of another conviction? I mean, what are the chances here? How much will be different and how much will be the same?
Well, you know, the defense is going to have a greater benefit by not having the additional women being allowed to testify, because that seemed to be the nail in the coffin for the first trial. But sometimes, you know, both the prosecution and the defense learn their mistakes. And in retrials, you know, they correct what they did wrong. Sometimes new evidence it is admitted. Sometimes things are discovered, you know, post the first trial. And so, you know, it's not unheard of for an overturned conviction to then get another conviction. But it's going to be more challenging in this case, especially if the cases are not consolidated. And the original trial is just with the two women and no other women. And just based on their story. So if that's the case, you know, Weinstein's defense has indicated he wants to testify. He wants to tell a story. So now they're going to get to hear the he said, she said.
All right. So that's what I would imagine everyone will be looking out for, the Weinstein testimony in this. We haven't really heard from him since he was convicted, I believe, back in 2020. He's been behind bars since. He's had all these health ailments. He had that other trial in Los Angeles as well. That was, I believe, tried in absentia. So a lot is happening in the Weinstein case here, and we'll see what comes of it. Tre Lovell, thanks so much for your time. We'll talk soon.
Thank you very much.